it's Beth. Welcome back to my channel, Truth in a Handbasket. So today what I want to talk about is NDEs, specifically my NDE. Yeah, I had an NDE years ago when I was a little kid. Um, I was like a really precocious little kid, kind of bratty, whatever. And so I have an older sister, and she would have been about 11 at the time, and so she was eating this hard candy. And the last thing our mom said was, "Don't give the baby any of that candy because she'll choke on it." So, me being a 4-year-old, right, I said to her, "Please, let go have some of that candy. Please, let go have some of that candy." So, she felt sorry for me and she gave me the candy. Well, no sooner was the candy in my mouth, I was choking on it, okay? So, I'm choking on this candy. And so my father leapt right into action, and he takes me to the bathroom and he's trying everything to get this candy out of my throat. And my mom's hysterical. She's like, "Oh my God, Frank! Oh my God, Frank! What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" And so then my father's turning me every sort of way, and he's patting me on the back, and he's trying everything that you do to get a candy out of a kid's throat, right? So he's he's doing that. Meanwhile, all of a sudden, from my point of view, I'm sitting in the corner of the bathroom and I'm watching him with this girl on his lap because he's on the edge of the tub and he's kind of got this girl draped over his lap, and I'm like, "Who is that girl? Why is my dad?" And I was like kind of jealous of this girl because what I didn't realize was the girl that I was seeing was me. And so meanwhile, so now I'm just kind of like flitting around the house, like walking around and just walking around the house and walking back and forth. And I could hear him saying things like, "I can almost see it. I can almost get it." And my mother's hysterical. She said her knees had turned to water, and she was just so upset. And so then my sister's really upset, that she was the one that gave me the candy. And so I'm like, and I go back into the bathroom and I sit down. And at one point, my sister went into the back into the bathroom, and my father yells at her, "Get out of here! Get out of here!" And in my 4-year-old head, I'm thinking, "Nanny, nanny, boo, boo, I get to sit in here, but you don't," because I didn't realize that I was outside of my body. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand why I got to watch this whole thing with this girl. So then I go back out into the hallway, and I'm trying to talk to my sister. I'm trying to talk to her. Then all of a sudden, there was a woman there. And this woman was huge. She was the biggest person I've ever seen in my life. And she reminded me of an upside down Christmas tree. So if you imagine the base of your Christmas tree is so, right? Now turn that upside down. And she was huge. She was so big and she was wide. So either her shoulders, maybe it was her wings, I don't know what it was, and was up at the top. And she was about 7 foot tall. She was huge. She had blonde hair. She was Caucasian. And I believe the reason why my angel, is what I call her, was that she was Caucasian and she was blonde is because as a little Caucasian girl, like God knew that that's who I could relate to. Like I might be afraid if a male angel had come to talk to me, I would have been afraid. Or maybe somebody of color had come to talk to me, I might have been afraid. But I guess because he knew I could relate to blonde hair uh, and with blue eyes, because my older sister has blonde hair and blue eyes, so maybe he figured I. But that's who came to see me, and I call her my guardian angel. But anyway, she said she can't hear you right now. She can't talk to you right now. She can't hear anything you're saying, but everything's gonna be okay. And just then, as she said, everything was gonna be okay. I walk back into the bathroom and I hear my dad yelling, "Somebody get me a spoon!" So he gets a spoon and now he's digging. He's digging in this girl's throat. I can see him digging in her throat. And he's digging. And then all of a sudden, just like that, I could feel. Now I go from walking around and being able to look in the bathroom and being able to be in the hallway, being around, able to float inside the house, whatever. All of a sudden, I'm laying up like this, and I could feel the pressure of the spoon in my throat, and like this, bam, my spirit was back in my body, just like that. And I'm like looking up, and he had gotten the candy out. Well, that it took several minutes for him to, as long as it takes me to tell the story, that's how long it took him to get the candy out. By right, either I should be dead or I should be severely brain damaged. But um, I'm not as smart as I used to be. Back in the day, my mom said that I was really, really smart, and then that incident happened, and then I wasn't as bright. And it took me a long time to learn how to read, for example. But what happened with that experience is it gave me what we Christians call the gift of discernment. And I've known things ever since that time. I've just known things like I'll know if somebody's calling me, or like I'll know who's on the phone, or like I mean back in the day, even like when um, even before caller ID, even before cell phones and all that. It's like I would hear the phone ringing and say, "Oh, that's my sister calling," and I would pick it up, or "Oh, it's my mom calling," pick it up, and it'd be mom, you know. And but I never connected that, like just knowing things with that experience. And then fast forward years later, we're talking years and years, maybe like 20 years later, and I'm watching the Oprah Winfrey show. And her guests were talking about their NDEs. And the one thing they all had in common was they all knew things. They all had a gift of discernment. They all just kind of like, I don't like the word psychic because I don't believe that that's what it is. Because like, to me, psychics are like witches, and that's kind of like devil stuff. This is more like a gift from God. And but they all had that in common, and then all of a sudden I was like, yes, exactly, like I could identify with these people, like exactly what happened to me. It's like I had this experience, and then all of a sudden I just like knew things, and like weird things, like for example, my husband would get done work early, and I would call him up on the phone 2 o'clock in the afternoon in his car on his cell phone, and he'd say, "How did you know I was on my way home?" I said, "I just knew." Like, and then sometimes it's not that great because when you have a boyfriend that's like cheating on you, it's like I could always tell him, "You were out tonight, you were cheating on me, and it was about 10 o'clock tonight," and he would just kind of look at me like, "Wow, like how did she know that?" I just know. But that was my NDE, and but the angel, she really, and that's another thing. I've heard people report that when they've seen angels, angels are like huge. They're like the hugest people. And and I don't know if Pat Robertson will ever hear this recording, but Pat Robertson believes that female angels are just nonsense because the Bible doesn't talk about female angels. Well, first of all, the Bible doesn't talk about dinosaurs, but yet we know that they existed. But second of all, I saw her. I saw her. You can't tell me that. I mean, unless it was a male angel and he had very, very long hair, and because I was a little girl, I just assumed everybody with long hair was female, maybe. I don't know. But to me, she looked like a woman, and she was beautiful. But I remember saying she can't hear you. She can't talk to you right now, but everything's gonna be okay. And everything was okay. And it's funny because things that take somewhat of an education, like learning how to read and write, that came very hard to me. Things with computerized things like technology comes really hard to me. Like it's really, but even though it took me a long time to learn how to read and write and things like that, mostly reading. I was always a grade level behind. My mother had to send me to she sent me to summer school 3 years in a row to learn to get me up to grade level. But ironically, I can read the King James version and understand the King James version of the Bible. So it's like, wow, yeah, that's pretty weird. That's pretty cool. But so I wanted to share that with you. But also, I'm trying to find my niche, or my niche, whatever they call it. I'm trying to find that. So I'm trying to see what topics get the most likes so that I can find a genre. So I don't know, because I don't really want to be like a gossip channel because I don't like gossip. And I mean, I guess I could be like everybody else and gossip about the Duggars or Sister Wives or the latest celebrity that died of a drug overdose. But I'm not that person. I'm not like, I guess because I don't like when people talk smack on me, so I don't talk smack on other people, you know. And I don't know. So, but I hope you like that. And it's a true story. It really did happen to me. And I was always doing stupid things. This one time when I was a kid, about the same age, about 4 years old, and I was playing with my sister's house key, and I stuck it into an electrical socket. And it didn't kill me, but it made me pee my pants. And I was smart enough to get up, and I noticed what had happened, and I got a towel, and I tried to clean up my pee pee off the floor. But I was always doing stuff like stupid stuff, like just as a little kid. But I know my sister still feels bad about the candy and about, like that I choked. But it really wasn't her fault. I was just, oh, I was such a brat. It's not my fault I was a brat. I was a brat because, well, I'm a princess. I have 4 older brothers. I have 2 older sisters. I'm the youngest of 7 kids. So they made me a bit of a princess. So I still kind of am a princess. But that's the way that is. But anyway, if you like this story, or if you'd like to hear something more like this, or maybe I could research other people's NDEs, let me know in the comments. And please like and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. And you know, comment below. If you liked it. And it really is a true story. That really happened to me. And but anyway, so I hope you have a good rest of your day, and enjoy yourself. And I'll talk to you again.